All right, so the time in SVG, it is now 8:18, and we are heading into another commentary segment. Good morning to everyone. If you've just happened to tune in, hoping that so far your morning is a good one, and yes, you've tuned into the best station in SVG. Just saying. All right, so Christal, we are jumping into. You okay?
Carry on. Don't study me. Unless I go like this, don't study me.
And even then, I should probably just ask if you're
You'll be
okay.
like, you're good.
All right.
And once I respond, then I'm good.
All right.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
I'll
So
give you a wink.
there is a notice, or the Public Relations Department of the Police Force has put out a notice. And let me just switch the phone so that I can read it properly.
Oh, turn it over.
Yeah. All right. So the Royal Vincent and Grenadines Police Force kindly request the cooperation of relatives of deceased persons on the mainland to assist in the identification process at the Kingston Mortuary. This includes those who perished during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Relatives are asked to visit the Kingston Mortuary and bring at least one form of identification. This will help expedite the post-mortem examinations and ensure that all necessary procedures are completed in a timely and respectful manner. We understand that this is a difficult time for families, and we appreciate your cooperation and understanding as we work to handle these matters with utmost care and professionalism. All right. So the police is needing some assistance from the general public with the identification of of some individuals who are there, who have passed and are there. Yeah, let me phrase that properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find that's just so heartbreaking, though, but also very worrying, because a couple of days have passed since a good bit of days, I find, have passed since Hurricane Beryl has passed. The time of death for these individuals, it was not posted, right? But nobody missing anybody. That's whole like 4 people, because we have had names for 2 folks, right? So there are 6 in total, right?
There are 6 in total.
So
yeah.
there are 4 people unaccounted for on a small island that's basically like, it's like very family, like, very close knit, right? 4 people can't get names to their bodies yet.
Yeah.
But are they from St. Vincent and Grenadines?
But you think it's that far-fetched, though? You know, the reason why I say it is I tend to find it depends on what your lifestyle was while you were alive, right? In that, if, let's say, you were not a type of person who was in frequent contact with family or friends, or if you lived alone, it may take a while for persons to realize that you are, quote unquote, missing, or you're unaccounted for. They haven't seen you. I think that situation happened at least twice already for the year. And it just took a bit of time for persons to realize what was up. But persons still were able to check in on them. So I can see how it could happen. And then I always think that this speaks to our sense of community, because even let's say if I know of a neighbor who lives alone, or if I know that they live in a region, because there's some people who live in the bush, right? Like literally in the bush. And you if you haven't, let's say, seen them for past few days, or like even in my community, there's a guy who lives up in the bush. And
I've never you don't seen want the guy. Him to live up in the bush.
No, but the thing with it, I've never seen the guy. I've only heard of the guy's existence up in the area. Well, I guess because I've never walked up in there as well.
Yeah,
so,
don't
right?
go up in the bush.
Right, but so there's always another neighbor who is close by enough. He says that he would look to see when the door is open. And that is how he would realize that the person is still, because I think he's an elderly person.
Oh, dear.
So the way in which he checks in is to make sure that the door is open. And like for me, now living on a street, the thing of it is that I would do checks to make sure that, so if my neighbor's vehicle is there, to you kind of check in on your neighbors to make sure that everything is okay. So I can legit see how it can happen, because it depends on your lifestyle before, and maybe you're a recluse, so.
What's another possibility is if somebody went down to spend a little time and they didn't, like, persons on the mainland didn't know that they went down, so they're assuming, okay, maybe they went on the leeward side, maybe they're on the windward side, like moving from one side to the next.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't expect them to be in Union Island or the Grenadines. So you're not thinking, okay, this could be my person, because my person said that they were going to the leeward
Yeah.
or the windward, or they said that they were going to Beckway and not like further down. So, but checking on your people, like, my other theory is, what if they're not Vincentians? What if
Which
they
one?
just happen to be like on the island, like they're like moving? You see, like how the other day when they found the vessel, when they found the Grenadian escapees, they were escapees,
Yeah.
right? What if they're not Vince's? It's so important to sorry. sorry, one, to like check in on people and to have routine, like a routine, so people are accustomed to your movements. I know people like to move incognito and do whatever they please and enjoy their lives, but in terms of like worst case scenarios, identifying folks, this is tough. Imagine you live your whole life, right? And you pass away and nobody miss you. Nobody come and look for you. No, your body is just there in a mortuary, and nobody has come to identify it. Wow.
But that always reminds me. There's this British. Oh gosh, I should have probably looked this up before. There was this British lady of Ghanese descent. It took years before persons realized that she was.
I think I heard that story from
Yeah,
a friend.
she was. That she died, and even this year, I felt so bad about something, so bad. And so a friend of mine, his birthday, I always remember his birthday, but for like 2 years on a straight, I did not check in on him. I didn't send happy birthday greetings because it's like I would reach out to him and you would just hear like a dry response, and I would be like, okay, I ain't fighting up with this. And only to realize when I went to check that the person died. The person passed away, and I felt so bad. And these are the times when you start to question, have I really been a good friend?
You should feel
Try
would've
to Robertson, please, no.
I'm sorry. I would have cried.
No, but I felt so. But then I'm there saying, but the thing of it is that with relationships, platonic relationships, it really does take interaction on the part of both persons.
Yeah.
Because like if I am checking in on you and you're giving me a dry response every time, then it's not encouragement for me to check in on you.
Maybe the dry response is their mood, not necessarily something personal towards you.
No, but it wasn't. I didn't take it personally in that sense, but it didn't give me encouragement to
So, right.
continue that conversation or to continue check. But I realized after he probably was suffering from something. I think he died from cancer. And but then I just felt so bad about it, and then it had me questioning, was I actually a good friend? And I read through the conversations and I realized, no, I was making the effort.
Right, and now you get no response.
Why did you do that?
I'm sorry.
that wasn't very helpful.
I'm very sorry.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. It's I just know that in this day and age, because the amount of persons who we interact with on a daily basis, and the amount of persons we've encountered with in our lifetime, it really is difficult to keep check of everybody.
Broadcast.
There are times when, and we don't like broadcast, Christal.
I still on the broad. Everybody good?
Yeah, but when you send that broadcast to let's say 100 persons, you're going to have to deal with 100 replies.
No, I just leave. I just make sure I get 100 responses. And just leave them there. But like in all fairness and honesty, though, things will happen, and we're not perfect people. I think even though we make an effort, we're gonna miss something and miss somebody. I think sometimes when we miss certain things, we're probably meant to miss them. And in hindsight, sorry, Roleza, don't internalize it. Now, I'm not talking to you. We ain't supposed to be giggling in this segment.
I need a new co-host.
Yeah, boy.
Crystal's not being treating me nice today.
I'm so sorry. No, so sorry. Like, remember the era I grew up to that? I'm on the border. Like, it's nonsense, and then there's very serious. I could pick and choose whichever one I want. But yeah, sometimes we miss certain things because maybe we're not able to cope with the actual reality of what, God is just like preventing us and just safeguarding. I remember that because there was this one particular incident where this person passed away, and they passed away with nobody around them, right? And it just so happened the series of events that happened that day, because normally people are always around them. At least one person is always with them. And for whatever reason, everybody had an issue on that day. Whosoever was late, they had to go and do something else. Like nobody was around the person, and the person passed away. So like we all, got to the conclusion that maybe it was supposed to happen that way. And if people were there, it might have been like more traumatizing for folks. So like sometimes, things just happen. You just have to like maneuver and check in on your people.
Yeah, the person I was speaking of in England, her name was Joyce Carol Vincent. You should look it up. I was fascinated with this story. She died in 2003, and she wasn't found until 3 years later. Mind you, when I read about this story, there were Christmas gifts that were wrapped. So they were just waiting to be given out. And I'm there saying, how could you have Christmas gifts that were wrapped intended for a particular person and nobody realized that you died, that you were there for 3 years by yourself?
So her skeleton, her skeleton.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing of it is that, yes, we need to check in on people, but I also think that sometimes in a way that we need to, go ahead.
You see what it says there? Well, this is Wikipedia, so. Prior to her death, she cut off nearly all contact with those who knew her.
But still, even if you cut off contact, somebody and should make contact. What happened to neighbors? If you see that bills are piling up, isn't that a reason for you to make an inquiry as well?
It might be a culture difference. So West Indians will check up, right? Can I pick up a bill on them, and something of that sort. Other people in other cultures, they be just like, oh, she nasty. Like she living, because maybe it's like a typical thing for when people get sad or depressed, or it's just nasty. They just leave things like certain ways. I'm like, oh, whatever, mind my business, 20, whatever. Maybe it's just a culture difference. We will check. Well, hopefully these days people still do that. Check in. I still do. People in my community, we still check in.
I remember a time my neighbor told me he ain't seen no light in my house for a couple of days. So I was like, you sure it's my house you was watching? Because I found it hilarious. But when after I did it chuckle mentally, I thought, it's such a good thing, because at least he was looking, because he lives on the other side of the hill, looking to see, when lights went on and that kind of thing. But when he said he ain't seen no lights on in the house for a couple of days, I was like, what? Yeah, it was just the weirdest thing. But it at least gave me that sense of community, in that I know that persons are still looking out, So yeah.
Borderline creepy, but
yeah, but no. I go with it, because the reason why I'm cool with it, because if it was someone like who was passing the place with me before, then it would have freaked me out. But it's never happened, So I just took it in community spirit.
Context is
in
everything.
Good community spirit, right? Yeah,
and
the thing of it is that within these natural disasters, we are going to get instances of persons who are going to be unaccounted for. So maybe this is a time for us to just take stock and check and, just make a check-in on persons who we suspect to have been in particular locations, just to make sure that they are alive and well. If you cannot make contact with them, and if you know of persons within their vicinity, maybe reach out to those persons within their vicinity just for them to do that check-in for you. And if not, then I guess make a report to the police in terms of letting them know that this person has been unaccounted for. You've tried to make your checks, and so forth. Because at this time, we really do need to be looking out for everyone. And going through something as traumatic and as stressful as Hurricane Beryl, and everything else that it entails, we have to be our brother's keeper.
Hurricane Beryl, wicked. How many deaths?
Wicked.
How many deaths now? Like 30? Over 30?
You mean total? Worldwide?
Not St. Vincent and the Grenadines,
yeah.
But I mean, it has hit several islands, places. Wicked. Wicked, 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 wicked,
Nah, in
wicked. It's
Vincentian
crazy.
language, they say wicked.
Wicked.
Ah, it's wicked.
Wickedness in high places.
All right, so we are going to end this segment and then be back with you for more activated mornings.
First National Bank says get the home you've always wanted with zero down. That's right, as we celebrate more than 85 years of being here for you as the first Indigenous bank, we're giving 85 individuals 100% financing to achieve their dream of home ownership. This is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make. 100% financing for your dream home. Call or come into First National Bank today and ask about our zero down payment 100% financing for mortgages. First National Bank, here for you.
Did you know? Have you used them? Vertis, Medushi, Lilies. These are among the best bathroom tissue products available any place. Excellent quality, larger sheet sizes, and more sheets per roll. Check them out and compare with others. And guess what? Guess what? These are produced right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I tell you, Vinci's have class. Yes, real class as always. Let's keep our standards high. Buy Vertis, Medushi, and Lilies. Made by St. Vincent Containers.
People's Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical, skin and body care needs. Located on Grenville Street in Kingstown. They open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Call them today at 784-456-1170. People's Pharmacy also stock vitamins and supplements, personal care items, toiletries, children and adult pampers, and much, much more. And of course, get your prescriptions filled by a friendly and professional pharmacist. People's Pharmacy. Come in today and let us serve you.
Get ready for the biggest all-inclusive sunset catamaran cruise. Touch on the water. Touch on the water. We're going to be sailing down the Leeward coast. Boarding time 5 p.m. at the Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal. Sailing time 6 p.m. Music on board by SVG's legendary band, Touch, alongside The Fugitive. I love me white bad. Get your tickets now at Tower Bar, Honnestvale, the Music Center, and Standard Shippers Kingstown, or from Ticket Runners, The Fugitive, and Christal. Limited space available. So purchase now or reserve yours at thebandtouchvc@gmail.com. Come celebrate with us as we kick off our 40th anniversary.